This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Well, the match you guys wound up having was a really good match. It got 3.5 stars, according to Dave Meltzer. He's going to pick up the win, Steve Austin being he. You guys get plenty of time, too, 15 minutes and 1 second. Meltzer would say Austin posted Angle's left arm a few times. Angle went to the ankle lock several times to work the leg and also did a figure 4 around the ring post. Angle did 3 back suplexes for a near fall, then missed a moonsault. Austin came back with 5 back suplexes for a near fall. Angle used the ankle slam, but Austin kicked out, and Austin came back with a stunner, 3.5 stars. Does anything stick out about that match that you can share with us from Vengeance 2001?
Yeah, it was one of our better matches. It wasn't our best match. I believe Unforgiven or SummerSlam, those 2 matches were pretty incredible. But I felt that this match was almost as good, and I really loved working with Austin. And I thought that he was he was at that particular time the best worker in the business.
Let my family save your family some cash. You don't need perfect credit. You don't need money out of your pocket, but we will save you money. It's not a matter if, it's a matter of how much. SaveWithConrad.com. Meltzer didn't think this match between you two was as good as some of the other matches you had. And I'm wondering, from your perspective, how much of that is because you think maybe Austin knew he had to work Jericho later that same night? Like, it just feels like mentally you have to get yourself right to, I'm not just going to give my all in this one match. I've still got to have some other stuff in the tank and some other tricks up my sleeve for the next match, because I know I'm wrestling twice. That's a unique challenge for Steve Austin here on this night, is it not?
Yes, but Austin, I highly doubt that he was holding back. He always won 120%. I don't believe that for a second. He is one intense individual. He takes pride in every single match he wrestles. He wants each match that he has to be his very best match. And it doesn't matter if he had to wrestle 1, 2, 3, or 4 times in one night. He wouldn't hold back any match. That's not Austin's style.
Some of the old school promoters that I know have told me, in their experience, tournaments don't draw as well. The idea being you want to have one big marquee matchup, mano a mano, 2 guys on the poster, if you will. And if you have a tournament and we don't know exactly what the main event is, it's harder to sell and it's harder to get fans to buy in. Do you agree with that? Do you think tournaments are a tougher sell, or is that just an excuse?
Yes, I do believe that, because I honestly believe when you have tournaments, they want a lot of the top guys in the tournament, but what they're trying to do is make a new guy. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have one of the new guys that aren't quite as popular winning the tournament. So you want to have all your marquee guys in the pay-per-view, and you put them in the bracket of the tournament wrestling each other. And then you have the new guy win the tournament, and he eventually becomes eventually at one particular time, one of the top guys in the company. So when you're pushing the younger guy, the less experienced guy, the tournament works out really well. But if you're going to do a pay-per-view and you want to draw a lot of money, you want the 2 biggest names in the business going against each other in the main event.
That makes sense to me. I want to remind everybody, after you wind up losing the match and then Jericho defeats The Rock, you come out and hit Austin with a chair, and that begins his match with Jericho. So you're still getting the last word as much as you can. Of course, we know that was Jericho's night. He's going to be crowned undisputed champion. But I'm wondering, from your perspective, now that you find yourself fresh off Survivor Series, where seemingly you were a babyface, now you're a heel again, and now there's a heel champion. Does that disappoint you financially, maybe? Because you think, well, I'm not going to be in the title picture because he's going to have to work with a babyface, right?
Yes, it can. You're not going to make quite as much money. You're still main eventing pay-per-views, and you're main eventing house shows, at least co-main eventing. So you're still getting paid good money, but when you're the champion, that's where the big bucks come in. That's where the most money gets put in that particular match. So knowing that I wasn't champion and I wasn't the top heel anymore per se, it was a little disheartening, making less money.
Talk to me a little bit about 2001. I mean, this is effectively the end of your 2001. Of course, there's a handful of more shows, but Vengeance is the last pay-per-view of 2001. When it's all said and done, how does 2001 rank in your career as far as your most memorable years?
Well, it was as good, every bit as good as my rookie year. And my rookie year was incredible. I had a lot of accomplishments my rookie year, and I matched those accomplishments in 2001. So those 2 years were my two favorite years in the company. And I think it's because I was doing a lot of entertaining stuff and winning a lot of world titles and other titles as well. So, you know, I eventually started getting better as a wrestler the years after, but those 2 years were my two most special years.
Brent Barnett has a question for us on Twitter. And if you've got a question for us, we would love to hear them. It's at the Angle Pod over on Twitter. Brent wants to know, which finisher was Kurt's favorite, the Stone Cold Stunner, the Rock Bottom, or the Walls of Jericho?
What was my favorite to take?
Yes, sir.
Gosh, they're all pretty cool, but taking the Stunner from Austin was awesome. You know, just going down and then springing up and, you know, over exaggerating the Stunner was a lot of fun to do.
Sure, I get it. It's a wrestling podcast, but he's saving us money on our mortgage. Do you really trust this process? The reviews don't lie. 5-star review after 5-star review. We make it fast, we make it easy, and it's no cost or obligation. Give us a shot to earn your business. I'm telling you, you'll be glad you did, especially if you like keeping more of your own money. You don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket. So what are you waiting for? Hurry to savewithconrad.com. I had a feeling you were going to pick that. Next week,
it's easy.
Yeah, and you can use some creative juices, right? The Rock found a creative way to take that every single time.
He flopped all over the ring. His legs would hit the ropes, and yeah, he over exaggerated big time.
It was almost Kurt Hennig-esque, but super fun either way.
You're absolutely right.
Next week, we're going to be talking about your match at Final Resolution 2011. So instead of going back 20 years, we'll go back 10 years. And 10 years ago this month, you were wrestling the Cowboy, James Storm. You're not in the main event, which is rare for you here, but you're looking to get revenge on Storm for winning the TNA title from you. And it still just blows me away, dude, that as much fun as we've had talking about your WWE run, you spent more time in TNA. So we'll be talking about that next week. In 2 weeks, we're doing something pretty special. I don't want to tip our hands yet, but we've got something really fun planned. We'll call it a reunion. And then as we get closer to Christmas, we're going to have the Angle Family Christmas, the day after Christmas. You did something called the Angle Family Christmas on Raw on Christmas Day 2000. We're going to have a lot of fun here in the coming weeks here on the show.
Yes, we will, especially for Christmas.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.